Okay, good afternoon, students. Here we are going to continue the our, our lesson from the place we stopped. Right, then we were discussing about file system and data management, and then file system data management. Okay, you have to consider it as one concept: file system data management. Right, it is a one way of handling data, one approach of handling data. Handling means data management. Okay, and so then there are some challenging points. So then it is very challenging due to the problems and less secured and inefficiency of these methods. Why? What are the reasons? So that we can mention reason is structural dependence. Is it advantage or disadvantage? Okay, or data dependence. Are these things advantages or disadvantages? Okay, think, right? And these things are advantages or disadvantages. Okay, the less security means, easily you can understand. This is a little bit problem. Okay, data ownership has occurred since data time and different locations were found. So that means there is no good data consistency kind of thing. You can see there is inconsistence of something. Is it better or not? No, these things are drawbacks. Security problems kind of things. So this is a major drawback. File system data management. In file system data management, security is lost. So these are the reasons. Okay, you have to study these things. Okay, you can easily understand of these kind of things, right? And here this is very hard to update data different locations. Why? So islands of information problem, according to what? Islands has different variations of same data. So same data occurred in different places in different ways. So again, there is inconsistent behavior. So these kind of things should be avoided to produce what kind of database? Manage what efficient database. So you can understand one reason for considering file system data management as less efficient, and this one is the one reason for it. File system security is less. The next one is structural dependence. So structural dependence means what? So changing the structure, like file, you have to modify all the programs you of that file. So it is very hard and complex thing. So next one is data dependence. What kind of things are affect to data? The data type kind of things are affecting to this. So for an example, data types, integer, decimal, Boolean kind of data types, kind of things. So it is depending with these kind of data types kind of things. For an example, so we can consider it as a drawback. We are discussing about file system data management. Okay, then data dependency is a problem, structural dependency is a problem. And we discussed that security, the security state is also a problem. Okay. Then data redundancy in file systems. Here, again, another drawback. We already know that what is data redundancy. The same data are stored in different places. Why data redundancy is considered as a problem or drawback? So these reasons: data inconsistency and data anomalies. Here, the meaning data inconsistency is lack of data integrity. So, hope all of you know about the meaning of consistency, right? So, when it is not consistent, we can consider them as inconsistent. So, you know that in a database, there are multiple of tables. Then there are relationships. You know, you will learn about these things later. But by using relationships, kind of links, so we always trying to make that database consistent. For an example, here there is an example. So we change agent phone number or address in agent file. We want, if we forgot to make corresponding changes in the customer file, the file contains different data for the same age. So reports yield inconsistent result. That means at one place it is existing as one way, another place it is what? Existing as different way. So there should be a way of what? There should be a method when you are changing one place, one data in one place. So that related or same kind of data, if there are same kind of data in same database, that also should be automatically get changed according to new changes. If it is behaving like that way, we can say it as consistent. But it is not changing according to new changes, that means all places, we can say there is this kind of state, there is data inconsistency, not consistent. Okay, due to this problem, due to this data inconsistencies, another problem will be occurred, data anomalies. Here, when someone is trying to modify a data, what would be the thing happens? If someone, here, this is the example. Okay, read and understand. I hope you hope you can understand this case and this modification anomaly related thing. Okay, then if Mallika Pereira's phone number, okay, the all phone number previous one, if that one in different locations of the file system, so what would be the thing happen? If entered the new number at one place of one record would not be enough. There may be different places, the same what previous number. Okay, then when it is going to modifying some data, there could be some anomalies. Then all the places there wouldn't be the new phone number. That is the problem. So that kind of scenario can be considered as a modification anomaly. Another problem is an insertion anomaly. Again, read and understand this. Okay, here, when it is trying to insert data into database, insert data into tables, what would be the thing happens? For an example, this example, okay, there may be a multiple customer for a company. Okay, then that customer may have different agents. But then when one customer, then multiple customer have same agent data, okay, then when they are trying to add it to the system, there may be problems. There may be anomalies. So that kind of thing can be considered as insertion anomaly. So you can understand again, then data redundancy can be occurred. Why? Then same data can be present in different locations in different forms, right? So you can observe this as, understand this as insertion anomaly. And the last one is deletion anomaly. Read and understand. Unintended loss of data due to deletion of other data. Okay, when you are going to delete some data, so some data can be deleted related to it automatically. So that means, for an example, here, so when it is trying to do one task, okay, then unexpected thing also can be happen, right? So this kind of things can be considered as deletion anomaly. So these things are occurred due to some drawbacks of file systems. So here we discussed about types of data anomalies. There are three types of data anomalies: modification, insertion, and deletion anomalies. Then next one we discussed here are data redundancy, okay, and data inconsistencies. Okay. Okay, read and understand these things. Okay, then I will show this diagram. Okay, here previously we discussed about file management related things, right? And here we are discussing about data management systems. Previously we discussed about file management systems kind of things. So there were many drawbacks, right? Then, but in these data management systems, there are some advantages. So what are these? What are them? Okay, then centralized data and improved data management, and then they are the advantages. Here, centralized data means you can see there, and the database consists of logically related data stored in single data repositories. Repository means it's stored. Okay. Then, so all the data are stored in a one place. Okay, single place. It is an advantage because of if any device can, okay, the devices can access that point. Okay, then it can access the data. So, and also there should be proper data management technologies, methods, right? Okay, here we are discussing about database management system, okay, advantages kind of things. So previously we mentioned that, so centralizing data is an advantage. It is not like file systems. So when it is designed like this way, okay, when it is designed like this way, previously, what are the disadvantages previously we mentioned? So data redundancy or data inconsistency kind of drawbacks can be what? Minimized. So that is the reason we should use so data management systems. Now, you should be able to understand the reasons of using these technologies. So here database has three tables: employee, customer, and sales. Or there may be many tables. Okay, they can be, if they can handle it without redundancies, inconsistencies, that would be advantage. So we mentioned that. So most of data management systems are focusing on that kind of tasks, right? Then you can understand these things clearly. Now we know about what is data inconsistency, data anomalies, data dependencies, structural dependency problems. We can eliminate. We already mentioned that, right? So this is the way that these days DBMS software behaves, not only storing a data structure, but also relationships in between database components. We learned that okay, there should be relationships in between objects of the database, components of the database. Okay, we will discuss these things in more advanced way in upcoming lessons. Okay, there should be understood that there should be relationships. Okay, that relationships because of when you have connect one object properly with other object, one table with other table with multiple tables in proper way when you have connections. Hope okay, we told that we can understood about that we can make good queries and we can get required data in a accurate way. So nowadays database management systems are facilitating to perform that kind of tasks. Okay, read and understand regarding these points. Okay, the next one is database system. Again, same kind of things are repeating now. And here then you can, since you can understand these things now properly, we can go through these things quickly. Here, same things. Database system is organized components that define, regulate collection, storage, management, and use of data within database environment. We already mentioned that there are hardware, software, then people are handling that software and hardware. There are different techniques and procedures to handle data and handle hardware. And also we can understand that data is playing a major role there because of without data, without information, okay, there is no database system. Okay, you can understand here database system is different from database management system, right? Database system, okay, and database management system is what? It is just only a software, right? But form of database system, all of these components are required. All of you know about the meaning of system, general meaning of system, then database system, and then database management system, because it is very important database management system because of why? People are interacting with mainly with the software, mainly with the application software, with the application software. That is the database management system. Then you know that it is runs on the operating system and it controls hardware. Okay, then while people are handling these software, they have to use what? These things. Very simple, right? Okay, you can read and understand these kind of simple things. Okay, then we can go through these things. Hardware, uh, physical devices, different types of computers are there, and different types of devices we can plug into a computer. So peripheral also, so peripheral devices, you know that it is, these are devices we can plug into computer. Any input output kind of devices can be considered as peripheral devices. So when you have a network, maybe local network or maybe wide area network like internet, then it can be handled these things, access these things from remote locations. Yeah, when you are connected by using wires or wireless to some server, okay, like we do by using internet or other networks, we can remotely handle some data, but not all data, right? Only allowed data, right? Then if it is not, if you are not behaving like that way, if you are changing unallowed data intentionally, so that is a different thing, right? So if you are changing or if you are dealing with the allowed things, so we can say that we can remotely control, remotely access, remotely update, remotely view some databases or some records of database stores. Yes, there are some examples. Okay, then you can understand these things very quickly. Okay, okay, within 2 minutes, very basic things, these things. software basic things, definitions, and examples, right? Operating systems are different, examples for these the operating systems, Windows kind of things, and DVMS software, you mentioned that, and application programs and utilities, virus guards kind of things, and here examples. And DBS software examples. Access SQL Server, Oracle. Application program and utility software. Application software. Database software mainly. Database software are belong to this category, right? And utility programs, I mentioned examples for these utility programs. So we mentioned that virus guards or screensavers, file zipping, unzipping software belong to this category. You can understand the differences. You can search more the variations, the definitions for these different types. Okay. Then people. So mainly there are, we can't say strictly 5 types. So mainly when considered generally, right? There are these types of 5 types of users: system administrators, database designers, and system analysts and programmers and end users, right? So most of us are belong to end users, right? Okay, now you have a little idea about these things. And we previously also we mentioned who are designers, right? They are architects of the database, and determination of what data are entered into database and how such data are to be organized. Very important, right? Very important and initial work, that designing of databases. So people who have work on that task are called as database designers. System administrators, database administrators, right? So these are the differences. Resources, security, uptime, performance kind of things are matter on system administrators. Database administrators, they are working on the database activities. They are always focusing on database activities. And other things, system analysts and programmers. Then design and implement application programs which end users access and manipulate of databases software. Okay, database data. Then when there is a data of database, there may be data some places in database, then here, and there may end users. Okay, then it is these system analysts and programmers are needed to build a database management software. Okay, then end users are worked on the software, and they should be able to handle these data, and outputs can be displayed to end user. So these people are work on what? Building this infrastructure, these facilities, right? end users, procedures, read and understand these concepts. Here, there are some instruction. We should focus on instruction and rules or guidelines kind of things. And the other thing is organization and monitoring, right? Organized way, then both the data that enter database and information generated through the use of such data. Okay, then they are related to procedures. Then very important sections are guidelines and rules. And other next thing is organization and monitoring section. These kind of things are belong to procedures. The next one is data. Already know about these things. Okay, we have told about explain these things multiple times. Now you can understand these things proper way. So we mentioned that there are different databases are in different scales. So some databases are handling less amount of data, while some databases are handling very large, gigantic amount of data. So it depends with the. So then resources are different Okay, maybe the number of persons are needed, number of people are needed to be needed, handle these data are different according to the scale. Some are simple, some are normal, and some are very complex. So there should be, according to the scale, infrastructures like resources and other human resources, okay, would be different. Hope you can understand these things in proper way now. Then we can go to next section. And there are some questions. Okay, then normally databases, we can categorize databases in different ways. Okay, normally we can categorize them as then manual databases or electronic databases. That is one of main way of categorizing databases, database management. Okay, databases. Then again, when it is considering models, database models, it is different. Okay, we will discuss them later. Here, the types of database systems. Read and understand. So, then, as I said previously, so there are different ways you can categorize in database systems. According to the number of users, database site locations, and expected type and extent of use here. One way. According to users, if it is using one user, single user, otherwise, it can be called as multi-user. So these are the attributes of single user DBMS. One user at one time. Then another user can be used that in different time. If multiple people are working on the same time on the database, we can call them as multi-user database, multi-user support database management system. So this is an example for it. Database site locations. Previously, we mentioned that centralized. What does it mean by centralized? Okay, data are stored in one specific location. That means one specific server in one place. That means single site. We can call it as centralized database management system. Would be important. And distributed means what? Several different sites, several different locations, several different servers can be used for store the database. You know, you can make relationships in between databases, also other components like tables. So since due to that kind of characteristics, we can link them together and we can distribute databases. So next type is expected type and extent of use. Another type of, okay, here we are discussing about different types of different ways we can categorize databases. Previously, we mentioned these things, right? According to the user count. After that, we discussed about according to the site location, one place or multiple places. centralized or distributed. The next one is expected type and extent of use. So okay. So we can classify them as transactional or production database management systems or decision support database management system. So you can read and understand the differences of these transactional database management systems or production or decision support. Just read these things and understand. Okay, we can compare these transactional and decision support systems. Decision support database management systems in this way. We mentioned these things. Yeah, okay. And transactional was decision support systems. The transactional systems, transactional database management systems controls a database which is designed to support immediate response. Very important. Like transactions. So data integrity, you have to it is considering of data integrity, data consistency, and operational speed. Quickly that should be happen. So when you make some payment using a transaction using your online bank account, okay, then just after making the transaction, then your account balance is changing and data or so that kind of things are happening. So that kind of database management systems should be implemented according to the requirement or requirements. Here, decision support database management systems. So they are supporting for make decisions. Then it is focusing on different things, focusing on produce information required, make decisions, the way of their producing and with the way of their managing and the way of their storing are mainly focuses on decision support database management systems. Hope you can understand the differences. So we can categorize them in different ways. So all we are discussing about database management systems. Hope you know the general definition. Okay. After that, according to different criteria, we can categorize them. Again, also, we can categorize, so compare them, right? database management system functions. Basically, basic database manage. What are the common functions of database management system? We know there are several types of database management system. Okay, then any database management system should be perform these kind of common tasks. So you know now meaning of data integrity and consistency. After that, so these kind of basic things, basic tasks should be performed by database management system. You have to understand one by one. Data dictionary management, read and understand. Yeah, I will provide a summary regarding to these sections. Now you know the basic terms which are needed to understand these things. What is metadata? You know about them. Okay, can you understand what is data dictionary management? Here we are discussing about database management systems and their functions. So what does it mean by data dictionary management systems? Okay, I will explain this by using an example, right? Think in practical scenario, imagine there is a library. Got that? So we are using database management system. That means some software for handling data. And uh, then there are some words in database. Words mean if there are terminologies for books. Okay. If it is added new book to that database, okay, it has a new title kind of things. So that a list of available books should be able to understand. Okay, new book name or label or dictionary may needed to be added. Okay, inserting is also considered as management something. If you are needed, if it is not available now, that means if that book is destroyed or then removed from the library, then you can remove that, delete them. You know they are there. There may be some anomalies if you are not maintaining your database in consistent way. But if you are uh, if you are maintaining your database in consistent way, then you can delete that word or that title or that item from your list. Okay, then data can be added, removed, changed. All these things are belong to, actually it is one example, right? So that kind of data dictionary management functions can be performed by using DBMS. You know that this is, always remind that, a software. Okay, there is a UI, user interface. What you see on the software, maybe menus, maybe icons, maybe list, shortcuts, that kind of things. Okay, then you can handle data, you can manage data by using these DBMS software. Okay, so then in advanced way, we can use structured query language to manage this data. Okay, so that is okay. So here, then we should always align with this program name and it task. Here we are learning about database design and implementation. Hope you can understand. Here we are discussing about the database management system. It is a software. Here one task which can be performed, functionality which can be main functionality which can be performed by using a database management system. So like that way, you can understand these things properly. Data storage management, right? It can store multiple forms of data, maybe files, maybe forms, maybe multimedia kind of things. So they can be managed in proper way. For an example, when you are logging into some social media account or when you are sign up, okay, then you are providing your mobile phone, your photo images or videos. Okay, that website or that database, normally website has a database, right? Website is what you see. But when you are inputting that data, then that data should be stored inside of the database. Then storage is getting increased. due to the various number of users or when they are performing different tasks. So admin should be able to manage these things, or the users also have some kind of task they can perform. So that kind of these kind of things we should focus on when we are learning about database storage management. Data transformation and presentation. Read these things, understand them first, then I will provide the summary. Okay, here, in here, so you know that databases, it is storing data in so according to some structure. Got that? Then according to some form, we have to adapt with the standards with the databases while you are inserting kind of data. But when it is retrieving data, when it is get back data from the database, sometimes it should be changed the way that they are displaying. For an example, so when some people, when some person searching for travel, the flight schedule or flight schedules, then it should be this. Then data are stored in different forms, different ways inside of database. But when database management system should display them means what? Then when you end user is we want them when end user watching and observing them, then they should be able to what? Easy to understand, and they should organize. Then that should be displayed in organized way. So that is the thing which is telling about. So what is the summary? Data in the database are in different standard forms, but end users and other users, admins are trying to see that data. When they are viewing or watching that data, okay, they should be, sometimes they should be displayed present in different ways for ease of understand and ease of performing actions on that data, or handle law management or that kind of things. So these kind of basic functions should be performed by what kind of things? A good database management system. Or normally any database management system, any software that handles database are having these kind of, are performing these kind of basic common functions. Otherwise, we can't actually call them as database management system. So here, then people are forming, people are building, people are implementing, people are making these kind of database management systems. Okay, that means programmers are mainly focusing on these kind of tasks. Then only their project, then only their product would be a successful one. So other terms you can easily understand, students, right? What are them? Yeah, security management, multi-use access control, backup and recovery software management. Backup means what's keeping copies, right? Multiple copies. Why backups are needed? Okay, when some data are getting destroyed in one media, it should be able to access them by using different server or different media or different compute or different server, right? And getting back data means and restoring data, we can call them as recovery or restore data, right? So before that, to recover or restore data, you should have a what? Backup. Then backups can be performed by manually or what? Automatically. Access languages, you know that Sinhala, English, Tamil kind of languages. We are accessing in Sri Lanka. In other countries, we have seen different types of kind of languages. Communication interfaces. So these are very basic functions which are provided by database management systems. There may be different functions also, right? You can understand them. Storage management. You read these things and understand, right? Security. I will give 2-3 minutes for understand, read and understand all of these things quickly. Yeah. Okay, we discussed that security management. So there may be different roles, right? Administrators, users. So according to their role, okay, they might be able to access different data in the database management system, and they can be perform different actions. So that is mainly affecting to security. So sometimes then when considering multi-user access and control, multiple users may be controlled the same record. So it is no problem if they are able to access and edit them. So we already mentioned what is backup and recovery data management and the reasons of having backups. You already know that these kind of inconsistencies may occur problems in databases. Then before occur that kind of problems, it's better to back up your data to external storage. So it is challenging when it is taking very huge amount of data from a database. Okay, that should be properly handled. Then integrity management. Okay, seems like okay, you should understand this integrity, the term meaning of integrity in proper way. So then these things are comes with consistency, redundancy kind of words, right? Okay, then all things are going together and parallel words. Okay, when one thing is uh, not happening in proper way, then other problem is happens. Access languages and basically access languages are different. We mentioned that. And programming interfaces could be different. So you know that developers are use specialized languages to improve application search capacities, kind of things. So communication interfaces, it provide communication interfaces. So then we can see this example. So interfaces can be used for communicating between two persons or two organizations or two devices. So the main so internet can provide the main infrastructure. It can be work as mediator in between two nodes or two devices. Two devices can be connected by using internet. So that database should be connected to internet. Then different people from different areas can be log into the system and communicate using the interface. So that is also a task, right? Then database database management system components. These things are very easy to understand. Then we can go through these things quickly. Components are so data standard operations, data definition language, data manipulation and query language, programming tools, file structures. These things are considered as components of database management system. Now you know what is database management system. Here we are discussing about mainly on data. So numerical data, floating point numbers, non-numerical data, and date logical ways. So different forms of data can be stored there. We already know them. So when inserting data, that means that when you are defining, you have to define when you are inserting data, when you are inserting record, you have to define data type or other kind of attributes of data. So standard operations. So when you have a multiple number of records in a database, so you can perform very common operations like sorting, delete, selecting records. Very common. What type of database management system? Okay, these are the common operations users are performing on it. Sorting means what? So that means we can sort them into A to Z, right? So that alphabetical order or numerical order or according to the date registered. So according to the date, that means. So we can sort different multiple number of thousands or hundred kind of records, then delete, select records, or why we are selecting records. When we are needed to perform same task on multiple records, then before perform that task, you should be able to select it. These things. Okay, read and understand the last sections of this part. Data definition language, very important. So DDL, definition. Definition begins with early stages. Here, the field names, when you are producing a table, attributes names, data types, location kind of things should be provided. Data manipulation and query language. Now you know what is manipulation. What is a query, you know. Then manipulation can be performed in different ways, right? And according to the queries, you will have different outputs. Programming tools, commands and queries. Then there are functions. Okay, you will learn about these things later. Different functions. So they also can be, you can get the help of functions to manage, to make queries in better way, to provide commands. You can get the use of functions, subrouting calls, file structures. So there are different file structures, internal structures to organize data. Then finally it comes with database models. So what is database model? Database model is a collection of logical construct used to represent data structure and the relationships found within the database. Conceptual model, implementation model. Database models can be grouped into two categories, right? So what does it called as conceptual model? So you can see these examples. Conceptual model focuses on logical nature of the data representation. Logical means software related. The logics, you know what is logics, what are logics, right? Conceptual model is concerned with what represented in the database rather than how it is represented. This is very okay. You should carefully read and understand this. What representing, right? Or how? Then it is not caring of how. Can you understand the difference? What is represent? Okay, it is caring of. Okay, it is not caring about how it is representing. So what kind of way, okay, it is trying to represent. It is able to be able to display them. So that kind of conceptual models are trying to display required things, right? Object-oriented model, entity relationship model, right? In this program, we are mainly learning about this ER model. An implementation model. Here, implementation model places emphasize how the data represented in database on how the data structures are implemented to represent model. But here, then they are focusing about this part. What part? So here previously it was not considered about how representing. But here it is focusing on how the data and how data and data structures can be implemented. Hierarchical, network model, relational database model, object-oriented database model. Okay. Read and understand these things. After that, we can go to next presentation. Okay, then we can focus on these kind of implementation models. You know that It is focusing on how data this model is implementing. It is focusing on. So these are very simple to understand, right? Easy to understand these things. So simple hierarchical model. So new terms are coming here, right? Very important to understand. And the root, this one is the root. And the dependence, lower level dependence. So these are the dependence of this one. After that, these are dependents of this one. Then dependents here, this one can be considered as parent of these dependents or these children, right? Parent, children. And levels, root segment, level number one, level number two segments, should be able to understand these things. Okay, you may understand these root segments, level one segment and level two, all right? Then these are like generations. First generation, second generation, third generation kind of things. So these are some examples, right? The project has a programmer. Then project attributes are these things, right? Then programmers attributes are these things. So they are having a connection in between these records or these items or objects. Hope you can understand these things, right? So hierarchical level, hierarchical model, and examples for hierarchical model. This is the main model. So this concept is the main concept, right? Logically arranged, create a tree structure, right? You can see here in between same level nodes, same level children, there is no connection in between them. That means connection means when there is connection, there is flow of data. When there is no connection, there is no flow of data among in between them or in between multiple objects, right? So these are the characteristics. Can read and understand these things. And advantages. It is simple and comparatively secured when compared with the previous one. So it can be considered as, uh, they can be considered as advantages. And these are the other advantages: data independency and data integrity and efficiency. So now you know about these things, right? Then just read, you can read these things and understand properly. These characteristics, that means advantages of hierarchical model of databases. Then disadvantages. So when considering here, they are harder to implement, a little bit complex, difficult to manage, can be considered as disadvantage or drawback. So some places we can tell it them as a lack of structural independence. Yes, is there. Read these things and understand these things properly. Okay, I will provide a summary regarding to these things: implementation limitations and lack of standards, kind of things are disadvantage. Okay, now you can try to have a summary on advantages and disadvantages of uh, what hierarchical model. You know, the in database management systems, and there are different models. And here we are discussing about hierarchical database model and data model. And here you have to list down advantages and disadvantages of this model. I will give 2-3 minutes for perform that task. Because of there are several models, then you should be remember these things, understand these things actually. After that, you can remember them in proper way. Okay, here we were discussing about database models and hierarchical database model. Conceptual simplicity, we mentioned that it is tree structure easily. This can be easy to understand, right? Conceptual because of it is very simple and data secured and data normally not depending with others and data integrity and strong parents in between strong connection in between parent and child can be observed there, then we can consider the integrity of data, right? So then they will become more consistent and efficiency. It work well with a large amount of data, large amount of data, large amount of data volumes. Disadvantages, we mentioned that complex implementation, it requires knowledge of physical data storage characteristics there, right? Physical data storage characteristics, your knowledge should be there. Then that can be considered as one drawback or disadvantage, and difficult to manage. So structural changes would be affected. So if you are changing something, some part, okay, then all the structures of related things should be required to update. Then, managing means that inserting, updating and deleting kind of things can be performed, but the structure is mainly affecting to that kind of changes. Then that's why we call it as lack of its structural dependency, right? So then when access one data node or one data table should be go through some navigate means what? Some head route to somewhere. Route means located at the top. Okay, when it is accessing specific point, specific child, it should be able to go through the required path, right? One after another, another after another. So we can say it as there is lacks of structural independencies. Then next one is application programming and use of complexity. Again, the same thing, the complexity. Then it is harder to build them. Okay, then it is a little bit complex due to this model. So this model, yes. Okay, then we discussed about the first model, hierarchical data model, right? Yes, here you can study more regarding to these practical scenarios. We can apply these things. Okay, I will provide some text regarding to that. Okay. After that, into this chat. Okay, then next we can go forward with next part, network model. Okay, after that, before that, I will explain a previous thing, a practical, how you can apply them practically. Okay, I will send a message. Okay, first, then you can read these things. to understand characteristics of these database models. Okay, within 2-3 minutes, read and understand how this database model is working and what are the advantages, disadvantages of these things. Okay, here network data model and structure of data model. Okay, I will briefly describe these things. You can see here again there are different levels of data network model of database. After that, again you can see same characteristics of parent record and link in between records. But other thing is here, so one child may have multiple upper level, have connection with multiple upper level objects, right? Then multiple parent kind of connections, right? So many to many type, we will learn about these relationship types later, and introducing link record, one to one, one to many, oh, that kind of things. So other things of and upper level things are called as parents, and down level then lower level things, lower level objects or nodes can be considered as children. Same kind of hierarchical model. Different types of connections, and we can actually explain this database model in depth way in the next session, right? Okay, we will discuss these things later in next session. Okay, and also we can discuss these things, the relational data model and relationship data model and object oriented data model and evaluation of data models in our next day school, right? And I got one question based on practical usage scenario. Okay, previously we discussed about hierarchical database model. Actually, very good that when you're asking that kind of question. Okay, then I will show you about practical. Okay, here you can understand here these things can be considered as how you can practically apply how you can see hierarchical model where when they are applied. Okay, I will provide this text, share this text over the chat. Okay, then you can save them and read and understand these things properly. Oh, it is too long. Then I will share this document, right? Okay, I have sent that hierarchical model related document, right? Other thing is, students from the beginning of the data, this course, it is okay. You are needed to self-study some parts from the beginning. After that, okay, then I believe that if you can access W3 school and learn SQL queries yourself, that would be advantage when we are added advantage when we are going to start these things, right? The SQL introduction, syntax, other kind of commands. Okay, then you can understand. You can try and understand these basic concepts. Then it would be advantage for your exam, right? Okay, I will share that too. And okay, you can it is better to understand or having touch with SQLs, because of you are needed much more time to spend and understand SQLs, because of at the middle of the program, at the middle of the course, we are starting a SQL section. So when we are, that means after 2-3 weeks, okay, when we are starting this one, okay, if you know about this section little bit, then that would be an added advantage for you to easy to understand these things, right? So these are the things we have to focus on this week. You have to revise the things we have done within the day, and you have to go through presentations. I will upload presentations within 1-2 days, working days. Then you can access them over your Learn or your Select site, right? Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting for today. You can leave nowadays.